of your Madeira cake. Normally Madeira cake which you get in markets are lemon flavored, so even this is the same thing. This Madeira cake, there was a very common notion that chalo Madeira cake hai, so it will have Madeira inside it, but it doesn't have Madeira inside it. So, this has a very small history, which is there is a this was named after, there is a confusion that this was named after the Madeira Islands, whereas it is not actually named after the Madeira Islands. This is named after the Portuguese wine, and which you get in Madeira Islands. This is something very commonly you eat in British, like England. Okay, the British people have it very commonly. It is also served as a tea time snack. Okay, this was very famous during 1800s. Okay, so let's look at the ingredients.
Ingredients used are refined flour, baking powder, baking soda, butter, yogurt, milk, vanilla essence, powdered sugar, lemon, lemon essence, and candied peel. The method what we are using over here is creaming method. But before that, we're going to sieve all the dry ingredients which are required. So first we're going to start with refined flour. Always make sure to weigh the ingredients properly, and before using it inside in the product, always sieve them, especially your dry ingredients. I'm going to put the chemical braising agents over here in this. So the first one over here is your baking powder. Baking powder, that is about 1 teaspoon. And baking soda around half teaspoon. Just mix it together. You can first mix it in the bowl and then you sieve it. Even you can do that also, or you can do like what I have done, just put it on the sieve and then sieve it. It's very easier with the whisk to mix it, so that is why I'm using it. Or you just have to tap it a bit so that it gets sieved properly. I have a very small bowl underneath, so that's the reason I'm doing like this. So like this, tap it and then you will get the product. Now I'm going to show you how to line the butter paper. Can you see, I have shown you this in fruit cake also, but again I'm showing you. See the slants, can you see there is a cut. I'm folding it over there, making sure that fold is over there. It's very important, otherwise your butter paper will not fit in the tin. Can you see the slant cut and a fold? The fold is again important so that I can fit that in the base. See, wherever I had folded it, it has come to the base so that it gives a nice grip to your tin. Make sure that folded part comes in the base. Okay, if it has turned upwards, make sure you put it downwards, and then you put your round butter paper. This will seal it, kind of seal it. There are less chances it will move. Okay, this is how our tin is ready now. Every time whenever we start with creaming, always make sure you take a nice damp duster, then the bowl, and then your butter. Here in this recipe we have butter because this is an eggless recipe. I'm going to start creaming. We have done creaming many times. The same way we're going to do the creaming, and then I'm going to put powder sugar part by part inside it. Now whenever I put butter inside it, it is much easier to cream. Okay, so because it becomes soft at the room temperature very quickly. Cream the butter and your sugar nice light and fluffy. Okay, put the second part of sugar, your powder sugar, inside it. Make sure your powder sugar is nicely sieved. Lumps are formed very quickly in the powder sugar, so make sure it is nicely sieved, and you start creaming it. You will feel it to your hands, that your mixture is becoming light. The graininess, which is there in the mixture, that will reduce. Now here I had put powdered sugar in 2 parts. You can put it in 3 parts also. So it depends how many parts you want to put, but put slowly. Don't put all of it together. This is nicely, can you see the color also is changing? I have creamed it for a couple of minutes now. Creaming nicely. Every time make sure everything is correct from the sides and put it in between, and then you again start creaming it. See, can you see it is, when you feel it with hands, you feel it very smooth. So that is an indication that your mixture is done. Keep creaming it. Creaming is going to take some time. If you have a hand beater, you can use that also. That will not take much time. But in case of your manual creaming, this is going to take time, and obviously your hand also is going to hurt a little bit. Do not, and one more thing you have to remember is, do not overbeat it also, otherwise your butter will start tearing, and we don't want, means it will separate out. We don't want that to happen. I'm giving the dry ingredients a mix over here. It's much easier to mix with the whisk. I hope you remember we had put baking powder and baking soda inside it. Now what I'm going to do is, I am going to grate the lemon rind. Okay, lemon rind gives a really nice flavor to your cake. So take the smallest this thing size. I'm going to grate it. I just want the yellow part which is there on the top. I don't want the inside white part. The yellow part is called as the zest, and the inside part is called as pith. The pith is very bitter, so make sure you just grate the yellow part, that is the zest. Grate it from all the sides. It gives a very beautiful flavor to the cake, a quite original one. So put all of it inside in your cake. This I am going to first put in my dry ingredients. Okay, so just be careful while grating. Don't grate your finger also along with it. Just make sure you grate nicely this thing. Don't apply too much of pressure also on the lemon, otherwise your the pith will come along with it. We don't want that to happen. Can you see I'm almost done with the grating? Can you see this white part? Okay, so this is your zest. I'm going to put this in my dry ingredient. Make sure to remove whatever is there inside in the grater. That is where it is, most of the zest is stuck, and obviously what is there on the plate has to go inside in your dry ingredients. It's a little sticky, but that's okay, and just give it a nice mix. Keep that aside, and again what I'm going to do is, I'm going to mix all my liquid ingredients together. So I'm going to take a bowl. In that I'm going to put my yogurt. If the yogurt has some lumps, make sure you whisk it nicely and then use it. And then I'm going to put milk inside it. You can use a whisk also here, not necessarily you have to use a spatula. My lemon essence, around 1/4 teaspoon will go inside it. If you can taste this cake, and if you think it is less, you can put little more of essence also. So it depends on your taste buds if you want. So maybe 1/4 more can go inside it. And then I'm going to put a natural flavor, that is your lemon, also inside it. So make sure you cut it in two and then you put it. Put all the dry ingredients together here and just scrape everything from the wooden spoon. Always remember, whenever your dry ingredients goes inside in your mixture, your wooden spoon comes out. Okay, scrape everything. Scrape the sides of your bowl also, like this, and just put everything in between. Then you start cutting and folding. Then you put your liquid ingredient, give it a nice mix, and then you can pour it inside it. Always scrape the vessels whichever is used, because half of the material is always there left back in the vessel. So you go round and you cut. So cut and fold. This method is called as cut and fold. And now over here, after giving it a slightness, I am going to put the lemon inside it. I am going to put whole lemon. If you don't have essence, you can add more lemon also. Even that also can be done. So you don't have to specially buy the essence for this. So maybe 2 lemons can go inside. Again, as I told you, you will have to taste it, but don't put too much of anything. Obviously, that is going to be a hindrance in the recipe. We don't want to alter the recipe too much. Mix it nicely, cut and fold. Do not over mix it. You have taken a lot of effort to cream the mixture, so and made it nice and fluffy. If you over mix over here and apply too much of pressure, the mixture is going to sit. Okay, you remember the tin we had made? I'm going to pour the batter inside it. Now while putting it inside in the tin, only that time only I am placing it on sides. Like I started from between and sides. I ended with the sides. Okay, the mixture is quite dropping consistency, so you don't have to worry. Don't bang the tin over here. You end up removing all the air which is there in the cake, which is a very good sign that the cake is nice and fluffy. So I am, with the help of the spatula only, I am going to nicely spread it out. Okay, and one more thing which will happen with the banging of cake is that the butter paper will loosen. Okay, and it will give a very weird shape to the cake. Now the Madeira cake has they are mostly garnished with your candied peels. Candied peels are basically peels of your fruits, or mostly your citrus fruits, which are soaked in your sugar syrup. Okay, and those are normally used as a garnish on the Madeira cake. Always remember to make sure that the chopping board is not moving. So I have stabilized that with the help of the duster. Okay, damp duster. So this is how your candied food looks. I have sliced them, not very thick, not very thin. This will go on top of it. This, because of this candied peels it gives a nice crack to the cake, and because of this crack it looks very rich, and this crack gives nice because of the peel you get nice cracks, so this gives a nice texture. You have to bake it at 180 degrees Celsius for 35 to 40 minutes.